Hey there! So today we have another review, and this is a beer from Decadent Ales, and obviously I was, good coincidence, wearing a Decadent shirt. I was one of the initial bartenders there, a part of a really small team, awesome team, and really enjoyed my time there. Paul, the head brewer owner, is an awesome guy, awesome friend of mine as well. So apparently Taproot's been doing great, the beer's been doing great. So anyway, to find out a little bit more about the brewery, we opened up a 15-barrel system around December, and so pretty much all the beers slightly distributed locally and out of the tap room are brewed at the Mamaroneck location attached to Halftime Beverage. This is contract brewed. This is contract brewed at Dorchester Brewing. So before Decadent Ales opened up a brewery, Paul was contract brewing. So he was, or Gypsy Brewing, out of different locations. So doing that for a few years. So sort of like what Grim was doing, but please, thank you. What is this? This is Raspberry French Toast. Haven't had this before, 8.6%. This is a double IPA brewed with raspberries, maple syrup, and cinnamon. And so I actually don't understand the can date on the bottom, but this was arrived, I guess, pretty fresh to here in Florida. So we actually do get distribution of it. So really interesting to see how this one turns out. So the beer comes in a kind of goldish hue to it, right?
Like peach flesh.
Yeah,
almost.
peach, and then it has a little bit of like a thickness to it. It seems almost like
Yeah,
nice.
like it sticks to the sides of the glass.
Yeah, there's probably
the head. The head does.
But there looks like an extra viscosity there, so I suspect there's a good amount of maple syrup still in solution in here. So it just has a little bit like it looks thicker to me.
Yeah,
Almost like puree versus like juice. You know,
Yeah.
Wonderful fluffy head on there, and so yeah, let's dig into it. Oh yeah. So that's signature, what Paul does, the maple syrup, cinnamony kind of thing going on. A lot of his beers have that kind of confectionery kind of note, and it's really nice and kind of syrupy. It honestly smells like, syrup and pancakes. Not getting too much raspberry.
I get raspberry for sure.
Yeah.
Like raspberry skin maybe.
Oh yeah,
maybe a little bit of seediness.
Yeah, you're right. It's not jammy, but it's a little bit of that kind of fruit dancing in there. So like a little bit of the fresh fruit, not too much like intense like concentrated jam.
Yeah, I think I pick up the fruit actually more than I do the syrup. So that's interesting that we both kind of
I
get
get the syrup
completely
for sure.
opposite.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely get some of the spice.
A little bit of cinnamon, yeah. Cheers. So
it is thick.
Yeah. So in the end, this is a double IPA, New England style double IPA, right? It has that kind of creamy texture to it. It has barely really much malt to speak of, lacking in bitterness. It has a rounded kind of fruit, kind of apricot peach thing rounding in the IPA.
It's a great way to start our night.
Mm-hmm. But then there's a lot of bite of that kind of seedy raspberry flavor, a little bit of maple flavor, and the beer's not cloying. It's actually quite dry in the back end.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely taste like the raspberry seeds. Like that's a really prominent flavor to me. I almost do taste like that French toast like egginess, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It plays with the malt quite nicely. Huh?
Yeah. So you get the French toast egginess, almost like the crusty part of the French toast. It's actually quite good, I think. It's not as sweet as I had anticipated. It's also not as hoppy as I would expect.
Yes, but there is a little bit of like underneath like this orangey New England IPA thing. And the cinnamon is actually pretty nuanced. I think this could be too much of a cinnamon bomb. It's also warming. One of the things that a lot of the beers that Paul does is that he strays a little high on ABV. At one moment we like basically did not have anything under 7-8%. Like everything was over. A lot of the IPAs are sneaky over 9%. So just like huge double IPA bombs over there, just high alcohol, high octane. And you get a little sense of the warming in the alcohol on the back end. But what's your final impression rating on this one?
I think I've had a couple from Decadent so far, and I really like this one. I think this is really good. It does not drink like an 8.6%, other than it's like thick, I guess. I don't think I would have guessed like initially that this was an IPA. So I kind of wish there was like a little bit more hoppiness to it, but I kind of understand why it's not there, just in the style and type of beer that it is. It's more of a dessert type beer. But I do like it. I think it's good. I would smash a pint of this, and
I don't know. I wouldn't call this a pint beer, but sure.
I mean, I think I go a bit for the sweeter beers. So, I think overall I would probably give this one. I'm gonna say like a 91.
Sure. Yeah. For me, it's pretty good. I think that the IPA being a little bit nuanced is helpful in pushing the other flavors in the beer, but I think the flavors could pop a little bit more. They're certainly there, but they don't like zing, and some of the beers actually out of the brewery that we were making, I think did a little bit better of a job. Obviously, this is a contract brew, so I think the brewery beers are actually better than the contract beers, in my opinion. But quite good. I think it sells its flavor quite nicely. The beer's nice.
I am getting more of like the hop character as this beer kind of warms up a bit.
And the maple syrup flavor is certainly there, by the way.
It is, but it's not like overpowering sweet like you would have with like a stout or something.
Yeah. So you think New England IPA with the maple syrup would be like super sweet and cloying? It's actually not. It's actually got a little bit.
It comes like with more like a nectar type.
Yeah, there's a nice dryness on the back end. This for me gets an 89. I think it's just pretty well executed as a fun beer. For me, this is easily a 4 to 8 ounce beer. I'd definitely not go higher than that. It's just impact of flavor. It's not something that I think is a crushable beer, and that's fine. I think the goal of a lot of the decadent beers are to be decadent, and they're impression beers, not really drinking kind of beers. And so it's nice to share this can right here. And Paul's just like innovating, doing crazy stuff with pastry IPA, and he just does a base New England IPA and just does crazy flavors to it. And he's been playing around with it. You can check out Instagram right now. I think there's like a candy apple one coming out for Halloween.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
Ice cream IPAs, he's doing that stuff like that. Really miss working there, but it was such a fun time hanging out with Paul. But obviously we have new ventures here in Florida and doing cool stuff. So hopefully bring you some cool new news soon.
Yeah. I mean, I think you already have some interesting news to share. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned it yet.
I start training at Ellipsis next week, so that is sort of one of the more hype breweries down here. Sort of like the New England IPA brewery. Despite the fact there's so many breweries down here, a lot of them are not like sort of like sought after / highly rated. This is one of those. So let you guys have more news when I actually like full on start working there, and hopefully we'll see you guys. Until next time, guys. Cheers. Later.